Today we're gonna make a tart, refreshing lemon curd. It's super easy and it's bright and refreshing and super versatile. Okay, so lemon curd is very easy. It's a stirred custard, so we are relying 100% on the eggs and the egg yolks and a bit of the acidity in the lemon juice to thicken and create that kind of luscious, silky kind of custard. So if you know me at all, you're not going to be shocked to learn that I have a very specific way that I combine the ingredients for my lemon curd, especially if I am going to cook it in a pot. So I like to add my eggs and my egg yolks to my pot first, and then I like to whisk them. I want to make sure that they are homogeneous, that there is no bits of whites or yolks. You want to make sure that you are whisking all of those egg whites in and they're all protected by the fat in the yolks. So really, do not skip these steps. Do not fly by here. The next step isn't like more fun or something. So just make sure you combine your ingredients that really well. So we're going to put our sugar in and also our salt. And then I don't really like to let those sit together alone. I like to whisk that in because the sugar will actually kind of pull moisture from the eggs and denature the protein, and just whisk those in really nicely. And then I like to add lemon juice. And I just kind of slowly whisk that in because it is a lot of lemon juice. I also like to add this after I add the sugar because the sugar protects the eggs from the acidity in the lemon juice. I am going to add a little bit of butter at the end. You can put it in now, but it really doesn't matter. I just like to finish with the butter. So make sure that that's nice and whisked together. Lemon curd does take a lot of lemons. So before I juice that, I like to go ahead and zest all of the lemons. And then I put them in a container and I freeze the zest so that way the next time a recipe calls for zest or I'm making potatoes or whatever, I can just take a pinch of that frozen zest and use it as if I had just done it. So it's a little pro tip there for you. And now we are ready to cook this. I like to do medium low. We're just gonna stir constantly. So this is a more risky way to make lemon curd, right? So you can put this in a bowl on top of some simmering water and kind of just let it sit, and it will eventually start to curdle, and you will get your lemon curd that way it's a more hands-off approach, but it does take a lot longer. So this is a faster way to make it, and it's just kind of, honestly, I find it a bit soothing. The way I stir, so I start in one corner, and then I move my way to the next side, and then I kind of stir around to make sure I've gotten all of the edges, and then I repeat. I like to think of this as my meditation. The good thing is that this doesn't really require your full attention, okay? So you can, scroll through Instagram, whatever. So you know that your lemon curd is done when it reaches a stage that's called nappant. Right? Nappant just means that it'll coat the back of a spoon and you can draw a line through it and it will hold that line. So at this stage, I'm going to add my butter. This will also halt the cooking process as well, so it kind of cools it down a little bit. Just stir until all of the butter is melted. If you need to return it to the heat, you can return it to the heat. You don't have to add the butter if you don't want to. If you want to keep this kind of dairy-free, you can totally do that. But the butter does give a nice silky mouthfeel to the custard. So now we're going to strain our curd. Honestly, there are no chunks in my curd. Just saying. But we're going to pass it through a sieve just to catch any little stray bits of whites that we didn't incorporate or whatever. This is called a chinois. It's a very fine sieve, so it's more like, but you can pass it through any sort of sieve that you have. Just boop. And then I like to kind of spread it out on this plastic wrap lined sheet pan. So I like to use a ladle to kind of pass it through the sieve. Really not necessary. You can use a a spatula or whatever you have. Don't stress about this part, especially if you are really diligent about every step of the way and controlling your heat, then there's almost no reason to have to chinois. All right, so go ahead and lay some plastic wrap on top. I like to cut a few holes just to let the steam escape, and it'll cool faster and more evenly this way. And then I'm gonna pop this in the fridge and wait until it cools down. And then it's basically ready to serve. So our lemon curd is cool. It cooled very fast because of the method that we used to cool it. If you cool it in a jar or in a bowl or something, it's gonna take a little longer. And then you can transfer it to whatever container you wanna store it in. Or you could just put it directly in your dessert, whatever you're gonna do. But I think another benefit of cooling it this way is that it's easy to transfer. So we're just gonna pick up all the plastic wrap together, kind of fold it over on itself, create like a little package, and then we are going to corral it into whatever its final destination is. Hand-eye coordination. Lemon curd is wonderful when paired with something like a pavlova that's a little bit sweet and brings that like tangy brightness, or with summer berries, or you can use it as a filling for cakes or cupcakes. And you can actually use the same recipe with a little bit of gelatin to make lemon bars, or, you know, the world is your oyster. Sometimes I even just stir it into yogurt. Oh, delicious.